I intended the book to be a tribute to my mother and also to honor my father, who took care of her right up until the time she died. A very heroic figure in my mind. And he was always very proud of my writing, and I really wanted to give him this book and have him know that it came from the heart, and I was paying tribute to both of them. Very sadly, he never got a chance to see it, and he died very suddenly, just 1 month before the book came out. But I know they're both very proud of the tribute that I paid to both of them. Even though my father didn't get the opportunity to read the book, it was interesting because I never intended to really incorporate him into the book. But I realized sort of in retrospect that he was very frail, he was ailing, he was 86 years old, and I realized in retrospect, after he passed, that I had paid tribute to him in how Bryson feels about the loss of her father, and even down to the fine point of the fact that Bryson's father was a skilled woodworker, and so was mine. He built the first house we ever lived in with his own hands. So I'm happy with the book, and especially happy that I recorded the audiobook version coincidentally on the first anniversary of his death. And it was very, very tough for me to read certain passages of the book, passages that I deliberately chose not to read in public appearances because I wasn't entirely sure I'd get through them. But in reading them for the audiobook version, it helped me one more stage of dealing with my grief at both their passing. And I think, too, when I read those, the emotion that I felt as I read them comes through in the book and adds to the book. It didn't exactly intend that, but I think it made the book more real. The other reason that it was a very personal book for me was because it deals with some very serious themes that I was dealing with in my own life and still to a certain extent am dealing with now. And that is the grief and isolation that one feels at the loss of a parent. Carla has just lost her mother, and a lot of the things that she goes through in the book are things that I experienced. The grief of having to go through your mother's things, and a lot of the little tiny bits of the story that Carla experiences are things drawn from my own real life. Finding a necklace that my mother had that matched her eyes, that she wore a lot, having your parents hide your favorite Christmas present and then make you go hunt for it. An awful lot of those little things made their way into the book. I started it very deliberately on the first anniversary of her death, and it became a way for me to sort of, it was cathartic, if you will. It was a way for me to express those feelings in, I hope, a very authentic and realistic way that readers who are going through similar situations can relate to. And another theme of the book, sort of in conjunction with that, is the difficulty in having a parent with Alzheimer's, because both the difficulty of watching a parent sort of lose themselves every day until they don't recognize their child, and then the fear that that child feels if there's multiple examples of Alzheimer's in your family, the fear that you have of one day getting it yourself. So I was able to express all of that in a book in a way that really, really helped me deal with my grief. And I've heard from a lot of readers that even though I worried that such serious subject matter in what is a romantic adventure might be a little off-putting to some readers, those who are dealing with similar issues felt it very authentic. And a few have said that, it helped them deal with their own grief. And so I'm very, very grateful for that. And those who aren't dealing with those themes didn't find them off-putting. They're still a satisfying adventure and a nice, warm-hearted romance involved. So I hope that no matter what a reader's background or what they're going through in their life, that they'll still fully enjoy the book.